cursed image.
That is a cursed image if I ever saw one.
That was Data's best moment, I think.
And for you, John Luke, some hair.
Yeah, that's all you need for the hook. It's John DeLance.
It's John DeLance. So, as you know, I've been cosplay wrestling as Captain Kirk, and it's been fun, but with the way things are going, I'm going to start cosplay wrestling as Picard pretty soon.
Yeah, so today's episode is Hyde and Q, the return of Q, his first recurrence in the show. We kind of both figured he'd be back, and just our little prior knowledge of TNG, we kind of knew he'd be back.
Mm-hmm.
Great to see him, though.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. John Delancey just goes all in, you know what I mean? We talked about this earlier, but everyone on this show, just, you know, it's like, as goofy and ridiculous as it is, we're professionals, and we're gonna do it, damn it. And John Delancey does it. And my only quarrel is with this episode right now is that I wish I didn't know what the title was going in. Because I'm like, oh, Hyde and Q. Because when that web pops up, I can imagine myself not knowing the title and going, what? You know, but what are you going to do?
Do you think that Q is too overpowered? Do you still find him interesting knowing that he can just kind of do whatever he wants?
I'm okay with it because I know, like, he's not evil per se, like after the first episode, so I know he has some, like, thing he's trying to accomplish that isn't malignant. You know what I mean? It's like he's part of this all-powerful species being, whatever, and it's interesting not knowing what they want, but knowing they've had probably the ability this entire time to wipe everything out, but not, it's pretty interesting. And in this one, we really go deeper. Well, we find out that Q's really not like the only one, and see him actually, you know, not be all the entire time. I'm like, oh, this is getting interesting.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused as far as, like, in the first episode, they just reference him as Q, like, you are Q. And maybe there were a few references to it being more than him that I missed, but then in this episode, they jump right into, now they're saying the Q. Like, anytime he's not in the room, they're like, the Q, as if it's this, like, entity or force. Like, what the hell is this thing? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I mean, we're just going to have to find out, I guess, but why does our crew know what it is?
The way Picard reacted when he first encountered him, and the way they've been it made it seem like there's there's an encounter that we missed or something. That,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, is it, I don't know, out of order or something, like a different Q episode, but maybe like they encountered him again at some point.
Yeah, that is interesting for sure.
But they only say things in reference to the first episode that we saw, so.
This also is a big Riker episode. Someone that you've said that Riker's been kind of falling to the wayside recently.
Yeah.
Not this time.
Yeah, finally. And that guy's face is so scary. He needs that beard. But yeah, I've been asking for it, and I got it.
We'll throw it over to the reaction so that you guys can know what we're talking about, as if you already don't. I mean, they do. And then we'll join you afterwards on the other side for our full thoughts on the episode, as well as our patrons' takes on the episode as well. So we'll see you on the other side. And if you want to watch the full episode along with us, check that out on our Patreon.
Captain's log, stardate 41590.5. Having dropped off Counselor Troy...
Woo! God, that's dirty, dude. Obviously, something will happen in this episode that she would have
been able to figure out.
Yep. Oh.
We know who this is.
It is identical to the grid we encountered when...
It reads solid, sir.
Emergency, full stop.
Reversing power, sir.
Not now, damn it, Q.
Humans, I thought by now that you would have scampered back to your own little star system.
Damn it, Worf.
Oh, he's ready.
If my magnificence blinds you, then perhaps something more familiar. Starfleet Admiral Q at your service.
Yeah, he can just be whatever he wants, unless that's his actual form. Is not
a glowing ball.
Yeah, sphere snake thing.
Yeah, that's all you need for the hook. It's John DeLance.
It's John DeLance.
Strap in. I'm not surprised he's back, but I am a little bit surprised it's this soon.
That's true. I like how Picard's already like sick of him, as if he's like a regular nuisance. Damn it, not now, Q.
Yeah, as if he's already shown up like multiple times, and you know.
Captain's log supplemental. Our rescue mission to the Sigma-3 solar system has been halted by an immense grid and an untimely visit from Q.
I'm a big fan of when shows do that when they'll show the credit like while the person's on screen. I like that. Oddly satisfying.
You seem to find this all very amusing.
If we weren't on our way to help some suffering and dying humans who...
Your species is always suffering and dying.
I like that gold trim on his uniform.
At our first meeting, you seized my vessel. You condemned all humans as savages.
Oh man, talk about continuity. Literally bringing up point for point the exact plot of the episode.
Did someone say game? And perchance, for interest's sake, a deadly game to the game.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, look.
Where are we?
Classic set.
Apparently our captain wasn't meant to be here with us.
Security, this is the captain. Engineering, this is the bridge.
Picard just cannot not be messed with.
Captain's nothing without his crew.
Oh no.
The doors won't even open. It's a where the fuck do I go kind of game.
Join me, Riker.
Oh boy.
A good game needs rules and planning. Wasn't it your own Hartley who said, nothing reveals humanity so well as the games it plays?
Gotta appreciate that John Lance is clearly all in.
What about my people?
Whatever they'd like, of course.
Damn.
There you go, Worf.
Drink not with thine enemy, the rigid Klingon code. Now, the point of this game shall be, can any of you stay alive?
If your game is fair, we will.
This game shall in fact be completely unfair.
You've gone too far.
Game penalty!
Oh,
I entreat you to carefully obey the rules of the game. The only one who can destroy your Tasha now is you.
I think Picard's still just walking around trying to. Does this work? No. Hello.
yep, here he is. But it's like, damn, Q can really just like kill all of them if he wanted.
Yeah, I think he's just bored. Or he wants to better them somehow. Or he's just bored.
There is a new ship standing order on the bridge. When one is in the penalty box, tears are permitted.
Oh,
Good guy, Captain.
good guy.
Oh, if you weren't a captain.
Consorting with lower-ranked females, Captain?
Wait a minute.
Was she about to?
Your starship command against...
Against your keeping out of humanity's path forever. Done?
Done. You've already lost, Picard. Riker will be offered something impossible to refuse.
Plus, Q's gonna come back regardless.
Yeah.
I don't follow your human rules of trust and honor. Oh God.
Really going all out with the French thing.
Those soldiers have formed a skirmishing line, I think you'd call it. And they're headed this way.
Jeez, Riker with the man spreading there.
Data, if you've got a theory about what's happening,
The hell?
Think fast, Commander Riker. And move fast.
Cursed image.
That is a cursed image if I ever saw one.
Okay, but what actually happened to Data? Oh, there he is.
Use your power.
So, yeah, you give him the power of Q. Thinks it's irresistible, which I mean fair. Basically become a god.
Hard to let go.
What would you rather be? An all-knowing god? Or a first officer in Starfleet?
It's as though we never stopped.
We never did, Lieutenant. Q suspended time.
There you go.
But I suspect that Commander Riker is probably perfectly safe. Q has an interest in him. In fact, Q's entire visit has something to do with our first officer.
Is he getting jealous?
Oh, God.
something about us compels us to learn, explore.
Yes, the human compulsion.
Have you any idea how far we'll advance?
Perhaps in the future that you cannot yet conceive, even beyond us.
Or maybe it's my limited mind, but to become a part of you, I don't even like you.
Oh.
Will?
Commander Riker, what's going on? I was sitting in school and...
Worf, my phaser's gone.
I was in the last episode, now I'm here.
Didn't change the sweater this time, huh?
He's gonna take them all out.
Yeah, finally. Oh.
Oh! It's Wesley that goes after him. Oh! Alright, so it's not all bad.
Oh! Look at that!
That's good. Oh, now he's gonna get all arrogant.
Oh, God.
That grid, their wounds. Only the Q can do that.
Okay, come on.
Are you worried that I won't be able to say no to it?
You tell me, are you strong enough to refuse to use that power?
Certainly.
No matter how tempted, no matter how difficult Q makes it for you.
You have my word.
Good, I know what your word means.
But why were you striking that pose?
On the bridge. Also interesting that they're just so quickly like, oh no, I'm turning it down. Like, it kind of seems like something to at least consider. Like, just because you think Q's kind of a dick, you don't you don't want to have the powers of a god.
Maybe, yeah. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't trust this guy.
Yeah, that's fair. That part's fair. Got some extras here.
Nice. I mean, you got to think it's got to be. Oh, big man Data. Yeah. You got to think of, okay, he's testing us, so you got to play his little game. Say no to his offer, because it's like, oh, we're offering you all this power. It's like, yeah, of course you are. Sure, Q. Can't trust your ass.
Do you think he was telling the truth though when he was talking to Riker about why he like wants him as part of Q in terms of like understanding the human need and hunger?
Yeah, in terms of being worried that they might surpass him one day, it's like, so we gotta figure them out. I can believe that.
This is pretty wild.
Oh.
You're getting close, Dad.
Oh. You think you can refrain from using this power? And what do we have here? A bunch of injured, soon maybe even dead.
It's too late. She's dead.
Wow.
If only we'd gotten here a little sooner.
Sir, if indeed you have the power of Q,
Oh, come on, Data.
I don't understand. Certainly you can't bring her back to life.
I can't. I'm prevented from that by a promise.
Wow.
I thought he was gonna do it.
Yeah.
Damn.
First dead kid in Star Trek.
And they had the ability to save the kid, and they didn't.
I should have never made that agreement with you.
Oh boy.
Here comes the resentment.
I want a meeting with you and your bridge staff.
As soon as we are secure of this rescue operation, I'll discuss all of this new power.
Oh God.
And absolute power corrupts absolutely. Do you believe I haven't thought of that, Jean-Luc?
Have you noticed how you and I are now on a first name basis?
Bro is Homelander.
Are these truly your friends, brother?
Damn it.
What is he in the Sarek entrance?
Let us do no such damn thing. What is this need of yours for costumes, Q? Have you no identity of your own?
True.
Have your favorite wish, my young friend.
Oh!
You're 10 years older.
He dreamed of becoming a Chad.
Hey, Wes. Not bad.
Data. No, no, sir.
But it's what you've always wanted, Data. To become human.
Yes, sir. That is true. But I never wanted to compound one illusion with another. It might be real to Q, perhaps even you, sir, but it would never be so to me. Was it not one of the captain's favorite authors who wrote, "This above all, to thine own self be true"? Sorry, Commander. I must decline.
That was Data's best moment, I think.
And you, my friend. I know what you want.
Oh, damn it.
So weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
You're as beautiful as I imagined. And more.
Okay, so what can he see? Like, You know what I mean? It's like, what?
It's got to be the Daredevil, you know.
I don't think so, sir. Price is a little too high for me, and I don't like who I'd have to thank.
What a man.
Make me the way I was. Please.
Great transition shot.
It was good. And for you, John Luke, some hair.
Without a single tie to his own kind.
It's like the first other Klingon we've seen.
If not the only woman we've seen, maybe?
There were some women Klingons in TOS.
Was there? Okay.
Might have only been the one episode, though. Day of the Dove.
Oh! Plus, maybe that woman in the beginning of Search for Spock was a Klingon, I think.
No! She's from a world now alien to me.
Worf, is this your idea of sex?
All right, Geordi, damn, judge him.
I have no place for it in my life now.
No place, microbrain. What possesses you?
Commander Riker, it's too soon for this.
If this is because your mother objects.
No, I just want to get there on my own. Honest.
Nah, kid, you can't skip the cringe phase.
You can't be so lucky.
Quite right. So you should.
We don't get to see what Tasha wanted. She was left out. Or Dr. Crusher.
Q, I strongly suspect it's some explaining you have to do now. No coordinates laid in, number one.
Yes, sir. You have my coordinates, LaForge.
Sorry, I'm just coming back from having the powers of a god. It's going to take me a second.
Engage.
Or do you think Q actually never took him away and somehow way down the road, do you think he's gonna use him? Hey, did you know that watching our videos and not liking the video is preventing hundreds, even thousands of other Star Trek fans from seeing our videos and our reactions? So please, do what you can. Lend a helping hand. Drop a like below.
Well, Alex, episode 8, I said was my favorite episode at the time of watching it. But that was short-lived, because then the following episode, episode 9, was my favorite. And then as we started this episode, I thought to myself, oh my god, this is going to be my new favorite again. But it didn't quite get there.
Oh!
It didn't quite get there. It was really good, though. I really enjoyed it. A lot I enjoyed about it. I just feel like what was set up, it just like didn't hit that next level for me. I still really enjoyed it, but man, when Q comes in and he beams them all down to that planet, and then Picard is left on the ship, which I found one of the most comical moments of the show so far.
Just by himself,
just security, engineering,
yeah, just nothing.
When they're down there, and then Q's down there dressed up, and he's like, "Oh, it's time to play a game." I'm like thinking, "Wow, okay, this could get so interesting," but it doesn't really go far enough.
It doesn't really get far enough. Yeah, I mean, it just has these weird-looking soldiers, and they just shoot at each other, and then he gives Riker like the power. And we could go into something like very scary or weird, like this penalty box thing. And that leads to a nice moment with Picard and Tasha.
When one is in the penalty box, tears are permitted.
Yeah, human captain.
But also kind of a sus moment from Tasha when she's like, "If you weren't a captain," it's like,
whoa! Yeah,
that's not been hinted at all thus far.
We're not drunk this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And the penalty box moment was also what started to make me question, like, okay, like, is this guy a little bit too powerful? Like, he can literally do whatever he wants.
Dear Tasha must give the box up to you.
And where does she go?
Into nothingness.
But I think your explanation makes sense as to where, he's not there to kill them. He's there to give them tests and have ulterior motives. We'll see how repetitive it gets. Like, next time he shows up, can they mix it up enough to where it's still interesting knowing that he's this powerful?
Yeah, like, is every time he's going to show up going to be, like, oh, we're being tested, and we got to, just be good people. You know what I mean? How are you going to make that interesting every time? This episode, we saw Will Wheaton impaled with some blood.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was insane. Didn't expect to see that.
He's not dead. Like, he's...
Well, we saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, to see, like, we saw a thing through his body.
Yeah, that was cool.
With blood.
But the stakes for me didn't feel there. Like I even made a joke during it about him, dying because I knew he wasn't.
Oh, we
dead.
knew. Yeah, we knew he wasn't dead, but just seeing it.
Yeah, but the kid that we don't know, it's just this dead kid. I'm 100% thinking like, oh yeah, Riker's going to use the powers of Q to bring it back to life, and then he just doesn't.
He doesn't. He sticks to his word, which I thought was crazy because I thought like, well, it kind of makes sense. I don't know. At the end with like the Guardian episode, he makes it. He's like not going to do that, and he seems very. I thought he'd be like the more human, giving in to like save people, but no, he sticks to it. I mean, he's pissed off about it, but
Yeah.
he's like he could have easily saved that person, but he doesn't.
Yeah, and like I was trying to think back. I'm like, Miri, the kids only die because they grow up, so they're not technically kids. Like I think this was like the first legit child death in Star Trek. Not that that's something I'm rooting for or anything, but it was interesting to see. And on 80s television, like, wow.
See Data just chucking giant rocks.
Yeah, and just opening the door with one hand. Yeah. Also, just that whole set in general. Like, I really love how they're putting in the effort of, they make this set of this rubble. Like, it was a real rescue mission. These people were all injured. Like, I really like to see that. Okay. It's time for my Josh praises Gates McFadden moment of the episode. First of all, the end of the episode is one of my favorite scenes of the episode where Riker is like giving everybody what they want or what they dream of, right? And I'm sure we'll dive more into that. But specifically, he makes Wesley 10 years older. And then Wesley, who the actor who's playing this adult Wesley, I thought did a pretty good job in his small role of capturing Wesley's kind of personality and mannerisms.
Yeah, act like a child in an adult body.
Commander Riker, it's too soon for this.
Says something along the lines of like, oh, I don't want this like easy way out. Like I want to do it myself. And then just for a moment, it cuts to Dr. Crusher, and she just looks so proud of him in that moment. And it's just such a great subtle moment where you know exactly what they're conveying, and there didn't need to be like, her
Good
running
job,
up to him,
Wesley.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah,
it's
you
like, just a little subtle look.
Little subtleties. That's all you need. That's good TV. That's good movies. It's like we don't need to hear it. The little look. That's all you need. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Don't spell it out for me.
Yeah, when you have, Jonathan Frakes giving probably his hammiest performance, and then you have John DeLance who's always over the top. It's nice to have the little subtle moments in there too.
Yeah.
Kind of balance, contrast.
Yeah, that ending where everybody chooses to be better. Love it.
Sorry, Commander. I must decline.
That was my favorite Data scene thus far. What's his name? Brett Spiner?
Brent Spiner, yeah.
He's great,
Oh.
and that scene was great. And I'm glad that I'm glad that Riker just like moved on. Like he didn't try to be like, oh no, he's like
he didn't go, you know what I can do, what I can do for you. It's like, nope. He's like, okay.
And the Geordi moment, kind of reminiscent, throw it back to Buffy the Vampire Slayer and the dream episode of that where we see Buffy as a vampire. And I said in that reaction, huge video, it's performed really well. I know you all saw it. I was like, her being a vampire, even though it's in this dream sequence, I feel like that's kind of a big moment. Like they should have saved it for like not the 10th episode of the show. And now in the 10th episode of this show, I feel the same way about Geordi.
Being able to see.
Yeah, it's like having this moment where he's made not blind. Like, I understand it's an illusion, and I understand the point of it in the story. That just feels like kind of a big moment, even though it's fake, per se, that could have waited.
Yeah, probably would have been more impactful if we never saw what he regularly looked, what his brown eyes looked like in seasons 5 or 6. Yeah, it probably would have been crazy.
Yeah. Like, we barely know this guy. Like, imagine knowing him for years and then that happens,
I don't know. They're probably scared. We got to do something. we got to try all this stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's an easy thing. Like, but it's like, with Data, they didn't turn him into a human. Like, he rejected it. They could have done something like that with Geordi where he does the same thing. Like, no, don't do it. But
we didn't see Data as a human, but in the scariest scene of the show, we saw Q as Data, and that I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight looking at that.
Yeah, that was horrendous. I did not enjoy it. It's creative. I mean, it was interesting because it was funny how like Data like turned around and then they're like, and then he's just like, it was a great reveal.
Like Q can make himself look like anybody, and it seems like he can read people's minds, and it makes it seem like he's gonna play like mental games, like he's dressing up as like French officers because of Picard. Like I would like to see like the mental games from Q on like really mess with them. I don't like the episode where everyone was seeing like holograms and Picard saw his mother. Like I feel like that's something like Q would do to him. Like Q's always testing people, but I wish he also like messed with people by using their pasts instead of just, but is Q selfish? She's like, oh, you and your stupid past, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do it with the way I think it is. It's tough. I don't know. But I am curious to see if we learn more about the Q, or if we don't. I like it being ominous.
I just love that Jonathan Frakes just naturally has a big booming voice. So whenever he was like talking with the powers of Q,
And absolute power corrupts absolutely. Do you believe I haven't thought of that, Jean-Luc?
he was great.
Just a wonderful man.
And also, last I'll say, the dialogue scene between Q and Riker on the planet, where he's explaining to him why they're interested in humans. Nice little lore backstory for Q. It doesn't give us a lot, but it gives us a little something.
Yeah, and I don't need a lot, but I just like little bits and pieces.
All right, we're going to jump into our patron takes. This is where our patrons let us know how they feel about the episode, as well as ask us questions or predict how we're going to feel about it. So we're going to jump into it. If you want to be part of our patron takes, sign up on Patreon.
This one from Rich. The only memorable thing about this one is that Q is in it. That's always a good thing. So far, I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, John DeLance is definitely a highlight of the show through these first 10 episodes.
Yeah. The only memorable thing? Maybe. Maybe after some time. Probably, yeah. Who knows? This one's from Philip Grisha. Had they glued a beard to Will Wheaton's face to play his adult self, everyone back then would have thought that's ridiculous. But in 2023, Will Wheaton is in his 50s, and that's pretty much what he looks like. That's great.
All right, here's one from Mr. Hope. Can't help but notice the parallels between Riker's evolution in this episode and the story of Gary Mitchell back in TOS, where no man has gone before. How did you think Riker handled the temptation of godlike powers compared to Mitchell? Were you afraid at any point that Riker would meet a similar fate? No, because he has plot armor, so I didn't think he was going to die. Gary Mitchell did not have plot armor, unfortunately. I hadn't thought about that comparison, but I think that's very true. I think that how Gary Mitchell acts is like kind of what Riker was kind of going towards, but like because he's an actual main character of the show, they don't go that far.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's like an almost one-to-one comparison. Like Riker doesn't kill anybody, like how Gary Mitchell choked out the one guy on his phone. But besides that, yeah, good comparison.
Wesley gets stabbed and everyone cheers. Do you think this encounter with Q does the character good service? Yeah, I think it expands on him a little bit more and what the Q is. And I just love that he just becomes a common annoyance with the crew. Damn it, Q, not now. Where it's like they're encountering like this godlike species, and Picard's reaction is, oh God, not now. It's like, that's hilarious. It's like, that like, I don't know, it's like, oh my God, what is this? But like, Picard's like, oh God. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's
like how big this thing is, and how they're like, oh God.
And that's why it feels like it's something they've dealt with like multiple times. It really feels like it maybe was supposed to be a later script or something in the season. I don't even know if he's back in this season. I don't know. You know, Alex, it makes me wonder if Q was going to try to test us by giving us everything we've ever dreamed of. What do you think it would be?
Odd looking.
Oh God.
Nice.
Momentous day is close at hand. Rejoice!
That thing was awesome.
That scared the hell out of me.